Hello, dear friends. It's time once more for another story. This is part 6, actually, of the RK story by Reddit user Hate the Beard. Oh, here we go. So I was browsing some of the comments like, OP, why didn't you lock or purchase a lock for your bedroom? And the truth is, we did have locks. But this was a shitty house, and all you had to do was jiggle the handle. We also had no money, and tried to demand from RK and BB any inkling of respect for our space. I'd also like to mention that when we were being served our eviction notice, I did take Cal to the side and begged him not to let RK and BB move in with us. Cal, however, said we couldn't just throw them out onto the street, and this became a sore subject between us, causing most of our problems. I mean, yeah, that's why I said, I would have thrown him out, but you guys are much nicer than me. So, that's just me. But, yeah, I totally understand why you couldn't. My doctor at the time also suggested I keep a mood journal to learn more about what triggers certain moods. I spent 4 days on it before realizing that RK and BB were the cause of my anger and sadness. I started having panic attacks on my way home from classes every single day because I'd rather have stayed anywhere but there. Jeez. I'm almost grateful to RK and BB for one thing, and that is that I now pay attention when I spot red flags in someone and put up with zero BS. I was naive and looked over so many of RK's red flags and their insistence that they were good. They did hide so much of their behavior until after we moved in together. Besides, you don't really know someone until you've lived together, right? Cal, Percival, and I all had a sit-down prior to our eviction from the junkyard. It went something along the lines of myself saying, okay guys, you both, referring to RK and BB, have been acting like, well, monsters. You disrespect our boundaries, you have no regard for other people's things, and RK, you need to stop being so sexual towards us. How that creep made you feel when he cupped you is how you make us feel every day. I shit you not, they both literally started scrunching up like 5-year-olds do when they've been scolded and start bawling. RK literally stomps his feet like a fucking child. I was so taken back I had to step back because I found myself laughing at the absurdity of this. It was unbelievable how they acted. Cal stepped up and continued what I had been trying to say. You guys need to grow up. You act like literal children. And BB replied, you're just projecting your issues onto us. That's all Cal or I remember about that gym. I feel like we blocked a lot of it out just to avoid dealing with it. We got evicted over New Year's, so it's now January. We start this saga again in May, the year prior. It's been roughly 9 months. Moving into the new place went smoothly. It was a pleasant break from the usual shit, though Cal and I would be starting classes in just a few days, and would have to be doing homework from a hotel room. RK and BB acted like normal humans. They didn't whine, they helped move everything, even started taking care of the cat litter when Cal and I were out walking the dogs. As mentioned in the previous post, Percival, Cal, and I would be sharing a room. Our new place was smaller than the one at the junkyard, but it was new. The building was only 5 years old. It was mold-free and mice-free. I was elated. We let RK and BB have their own room because no one wanted to be near them. We made it very clear to both of them that they could not fall behind on their portion of the rent, and that Cal would be collecting it from them personally from now on. Now that Cal was head of the household, BB stopped fucking with my things, though he didn't have to. Their cat Moo pissed on everything. I demanded they do something about that, like maybe getting her fixed or help out with the litter more often. No, that was too simple for RK and BB. Instead, they decided they should rehome their cats with RK's parents for a while, which also probably wasn't a bad idea. They worked it out with RK's parents and prepared for the 2-hour trip one weekend. The only thing was, they insisted on not putting the cats in a cat carrier. Cal, Percival, and I all begged them to use the cat carrier, but RK and BB didn't relent. They just let the cats roam freely in the car. Can you see where this is going? Can you guess what's going to happen next? Let me tell you, the second RK and BB stopped for gas, Mish ran out of the car and disappeared into the fields. Mish was RK's cat, and RK supposedly loved this cat. Mish certainly loved him more than any other animal should. He would say hello to RK every day and was so happy to see him, but now Mish was just gone. RK and BB spent maybe 30 minutes looking for him before giving up. RK called Cal sobbing. Cal had no sympathy for him as he warned him that this would happen if they just let the cats roam free in the car. But Cal and I left Percival at the house and we drove to where RK and BB had lost Mish. We returned almost every day after school for a week. RK and BB, of course, didn't join us. They dropped Moo off and then RK isolated himself in his room. We never found Mish, and I started telling RK that he really should start making missing posters. He thought that was a great idea, and I thought that was the end of it. But no, dear Moon Cult. No. RK was simply too heartbroken to lift a finger. I was livid to find him texting me during one of my classes the following week. Hey, can you make the missing posters and print them off for me at the campus library if I send you the picture? I didn't dignify that text with a response. As soon as I got home from class that day, I informed him that I was busy with schoolwork, and I could not do all of this work for him, and he really should be the one to make the poster since, it's his cat. I wasn't lying about the work either. It was the final semester of my senior year, and I was double majoring. Cal and I both had our senior's thesis to work on. RK never made the posters. He never returned to the spot where he lost Mish. Nothing. It pissed Cal, Percival, and I off. The cat loved him, and it felt like he just straight up abandoned him. All we could do was hope that Mish found a human who actually deserves his love. None of us were interacting with RK anymore unless we had to, so RK and BB just started staying up all night, trashing the living room, sleeping all day to avoid us. Whatever. This arrangement worked for me. It would not be until March, 2 months after RK lost Mish, that tensions would settle down long enough for us to all semi-get along. Of course, any peace between our rival groups would be short-lived. I'll tell more of that in the next part. Thank you, Moon Cult, and good night. And thank you, Moonhorse, for the wonderful videos. Well, thank you for sending in stories and all this wonderful stuff. There's actually some comments on this one, so I'm going to read those too. From Reddit user Realistic Noise 2. At least you guys escaped the junkyard. From what I've been reading and listening to, that place probably would have been condemned a long time ago. But it's still sad that they lost the cat and he never lifted a finger to get it back. I don't think he even processed it, or he was just too stupid to realize that you need to put in effort to look for a cat, or at least put it in the cat carrier. To which Hate the Beard replies, I feel like they didn't put the cat in the cat carrier out of spite because we begged them to. And thank you so much. We're long gone from that terrible place. I feel like he gave up almost as soon as it happened. Like he conceded to the idea that his cat was just gone forever, so there was no point in trying. It really annoyed the hell out of us. Cal and I did search for Meech to no avail. He was just a social and happy cat. I'm almost certain that he found a new home the moment that he met actual people. I hope that this cat's alright too. That is... oof. Losing a pet is scary. One time, and she's in here too, you may hear little rattly noises during this recording. If you have headphones in, the microphone may have picked that up. And that would be the sound of Chi-Chi on the sofa. Hi, Chi-Chi. Oh, you're going to bed now? You're not going to look at me? Okay. One time, there was a... She was outside. Chi-Chi was on a little lead outside because we didn't have a fenced-in yard at the time. It's when I lived in the other house, and I hated that place. But there was this horrible storm, and it was coming in, and Chi-Chi is very afraid of thunder. But I was not anywhere near the house to get to her in time. I had left that to someone else to help me with. I'm not going to name names or anything. Well, apparently they didn't get to Chi-Chi, and she had somehow squirmed out of her little puppy harness and taken off. And I was convinced that she was gone. I looked for her for 2 days, and then one day I got a call from an animal clinic that was a few blocks down the road, and they asked that, because I guess they had seen me with Chi-Chi before, and they were like, hey, is this your dog? And I was like, yes, it is. So thankfully she was found. And I would like to say that the only reason she did that is because she was scared, and I'm sure it was that time. But there was another time that I distinctly remember where she had managed to get out of her little harness and run off into the neighbor's yard, just because she wanted to. It was a very nice day. There was nothing to scare her. She just really wanted to get into the neighbor's yard. And as soon as I came out and caught her, I remember specifically seeing her and being like, Chi-Chi, and she just froze. Because somebody knew she was in trouble. Talking about you. So, oh man, I do hope that cat is okay. We recently have a stray cat who we've just been calling Miss Kitty, she shows up on the porch from time to time. We feed her, but she is in no way interested in, like, staying in one place. Anytime it's like, oh, let's try to, we'll give the cat a home. No, she does not stay inside. She does not want to. That is very obvious. She gets really upset if you try to bring her inside. So we don't do that. But she is doing the interesting cat thing, and I think she has been roaming around some of the little houses around here. Now, one of my neighbor's houses is empty. Nobody lives there. And my other neighbor is like this auto repair place, and there's some other houses around here. Well, one day she brought us... she caught a squirrel and felt it was necessary to bring it to the front door. Really wish she wouldn't have done that. But another day, she brought what I can only describe as half a pack of of those little cheese and cracker things that you get, and it was left by the back door, and I can only assume she stole that from our neighbors who were working on cars at the time. Which I kind of wish I could have watched that happen. That sounds like it was quite an adventure. So, we've had animals that do that a couple times. There used to be this dog when I lived downtown. There's this little dachshund, and we named him Stinky Max because his name was Max and he smelled real bad. And he was actually our neighbor's dog, so he wasn't a stray, but he would steal things from the neighbor's house and then leave it on my back porch. And, well, like one time it was half a rawhide bone, then there was somebody's shoe, a sleeve of ice cream cones. I have no idea how he got a hold of that. A plush doll, like a little Raggedy Ann doll, and half a box of crayons. So, I have no idea why Stinky Max would bring me presents, or why they needed to be on my back porch. Like, I really don't know why any of that, but there they were. Every morning you'd wake up and find something else, and our neighbors knew. Like, eventually, he brought enough stuff that I kind of went next door and I was like, hey, are you guys missing, like, a shoe? That's when they were just like, that's what he's doing. So I told them, like, we had it was like a plastic milk crate. I don't know if that resonates with anybody else, but it's just a big plastic box thing. I had one from when we were moving some stuff, and I just zip-tied it. We had a chain link fence to their side of the chain link fence, and we called it the returns box. So anytime Stinky Max would bring something and leave it, I would just put it in the box so they could get it back. We don't know why he did that, but it seemed like such a fun game. So, whatever, it happened. I hope that Mish has a happy story like that. I hope that cat wound up somewhere, that strange adventures are just a thing that happens, and that Kitty's okay, I hope so. Cats are survivors. It's a thing they do. But thank you all for being here, and it really means a lot that you guys watch these videos. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. I think that does something. I don't know, man. I just work here. But to really support this channel, I have a Ko-Fi and a merch store full of weird t-shirts and all kinds of stuff that you can check out. And if you'd like to send in your own story, make sure to submit it to r/Moonhorse Stories. I check it every day, so I will see it. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this next installment, or latest installment. Next implies that I'm just about to read it. This is the end. So, I don't know why I said it like that. But either way, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.